Today, we're going to the gardens to play some 5-5, but first, we make ourselves a brunch of champions. We sit down with $500 and we instantly get into the action. Diving right into the action, we have Queen 4 of Spades in Unreal 2. We post $5 as a new player and check our option. The button opens to $30. The small blind calls and the Unreal 1 limper also makes the call. So for $25 more, I make the call to close the action with my suited queen. 4 ways to a flop comes King 7-4, 2 spades. We flop a monster. Bottom pair with the flush draw. Action checks to me, so I bet out for $75 taking command of the pot. The button folds, and now the small blind player check raises to $200. The other player folds now, so now I'm faced with either a call or I can go all in. This pair plus flush draw has a ton of equity against any one pair holding. As you can see, it's a flip if I were against a hand like aces, because we can hit any spade, another 4, or a queen to improve against one pair holdings. I'm not putting our opponent on aces. I'm just trying to show you that our hand is good against anything but a set, and if a spade comes, it'll be hard to get paid. Therefore, I choose to take the more aggressive route and I jam it all in for my $500. We just got a fresh 500 and we're already putting it to use. We are all in our very first hand. The small blind snap calls and immediately shows pocket 7s for a set. Uh-oh, that's not good. We only have 28.5% to win the hand, but the turn comes the 3 of spades. Cha-ching! We hit our flush. Please don't pair the board dealer. The river is the 2 of diamonds. Perfect brick. We show our flush and we're good. We get a double up in our very first hand. Let's go. We're off to a hot start with a new stack of $1,050. In hand number 2, we have the 10 out of 10s, pocket 10s in the low jack. I only get 2 limps. I open to $25. The hijack now 3 bets to $75. I make the call and it's heads up. Hoping to bink a 10, the flop comes ace jack deuce rainbow. Terrible flop for me. I check to the 3-better and he reaches for chips, but then reaches back at his hair, scratches the back of his neck and thinks otherwise, and then chooses to check. Okay, interesting. Maybe he's trapping and trying to let me catch up. So off to a free turn is the 3 of hearts, bringing a backdoor flush draw. Pretty big brick. I check again, just trying to get to a cheap showdown, and now our opponent bets small for $50. Yeah, I'm not putting another dollar in with 2 overcards, so I make the fold. You can't fool me. I'm pretty sure he had a monster. So let me know what you guys think about this guy's quote-unquote acting. I don't know if he's trying to seem like he's really weak when in reality this flop smashes his range as a 3-better. So I don't know. I read it as he was pretty strong and he's trying to underrep his hand, but let me know down below in the comments about what you think it was. Alright, 15 minutes later, in hand number 3, we pick up another pocket pair. This time, we look down at pocket 6s in the small blind. There's an Unreal 2 open to $30. I make the call, and the big blind calls as well. 3 ways, the flop comes 9-8-5, 2 spades, and 1 heart. Not a bad flop with a pair and a gutter to the straight, so I start off with a check from out of position. Action checks through on this wet flop, and the turn is the 3 of hearts, putting 2 flush draws out. I think I might have the best hand, and I want to deny some equity from overcards and charge any flush draws, so I lead out for $50 and only the big blind makes the call. Okay, the big blind could definitely have a 9x or 8x holding that beats me, or various types of flush draws. So when the river is the 2 of spades completing the front door flush draw, I'm not loving this card, so I choose to slow down and check, and our opponent bets out for $125. It's a chunky bet, and I look at my opponent and he doesn't seem like he's really breathing too heavily and he looks pretty calm. I choose to just let my bluff catcher go and fold my 6s. Our stack is going down to $815. Okay, let's get back to winning a hand when we look down at the spicy 9-8 of spades in the small blind. There's 3 limps, so I raise it up to $35. Only the hijack makes the call, and now we're heads up to a flop, which comes 8-4-3, 2 spades. We flop a monster with top pair and a flush draw. I c-bet $30, trying to not scare him away, and our opponent re-raises to $65. I think about going over the top or just calling. We have tons of equity in this hand, and if he's bluffing, then we can give him some rope to hang himself. Therefore, I choose to just call the extra 35, and the turn is the 7 of diamonds. I slow down and check, this time planning on check raising to commit a stack with the worst hand like another flush draw, pocket 6s, or pocket 5s, and our opponent takes the bait, and he bets out for $125. Well, I'm sticking to the plan. I go all in for his remaining $260 and we fade the snap call. In fact, our opponent is in the tank for a solid minute and he eventually hems and haws and it pretty much looks like a screw it moment and he just calls it off. So the river is the 4 of diamonds pairing the board. I show my 8-9 and he shows deuce 4 of clubs who sucked out on me on the river, hitting a third 4. Oh my god, this guy only had 9% to win the hand and he just binks it like that. I got him to put in all his money with third pair, absolutely no kicker, and the poker gods reward this donkey. I am holding in my anger and frustration the best I can as I grab out $300 to get back to a $500 stack. We are getting this guy back because he definitely is the worst player at the table. But even more tilting, this dude leaves the table after he wins the hand and he hits and runs. So I can't even get my money back from this guy. Dang it, dude. Screw this guy. That's pretty annoying. Okay, that was super tilting. But let's try to get off tilt with pocket jacks and under the gun 1. We open to $20 and we get 2 callers from the under the gun 2 and the cutoff. So 3 ways to the flop comes king, queen, 5, rainbow. Hate to see 2 overcards to my jacks, but I do have the strongest range like pocket kings, queens, ace king, king queen, ace queen. So I go for a c bet of $20, a 1/3 pot size bet, and only the under the gun 2 player makes the call. Heads up now, the turn is the 9 of clubs, giving us a straight draw. Okay, let's try to get a queen to fold, and I fire again for $60, and our opponent disappointingly makes the call. Okay, that's not good. The river is the 8 of clubs. I could go for a triple barrel because I have 2 jacks in my hand, double blocking jack 10 for the straight, but I decide to just give up and check against my opponent, who very likely has a king X holding and isn't in the folding mood. Our opponent now bets out for $115, and I think about check jamming for a moment and how incredibly strong that would look, which would probably have a decent chance of getting a king to fold, but I choose to just fold instead and live to fight another day, chickening out on a very optimistic bluff. Our stack is going the wrong direction, down to $445. 10 minutes later, we pick up ace king offsuit in under the gun 1. Big slick. Let's try to finally win a pot. We open to $20, under the gun 2 and the low jack make the call. Now it's 3 ways to the flop, which comes ace king 4, 2 diamonds. Cha-ching! We flop top 2 pair. Let's get our money back. We c-bet $20, a 1/3 pot size bet once again, and they both fold. Fuck. Well, that's tilting. When we have a hand, we can't get paid, and we don't have the best hand, we can't get them to fold, and when we get it all in, 91% chance to win, they just bink the river, no problem. Ugh, poker is definitely hard and mentally taxing sometimes. Well, at least we won one. 30 minutes later, we pick up ace queen offsuit in the hijack. We open to $20 and the button now 3-bet min clicks to $40. The small blind now surprisingly cold calls the 40 and now it's back to me. With all this dead money out, I'm pretty down to just take it down now. So I 4-bet rip it for $300 effective, covering the button. Who makes the call? Okay, the small blind folds, so now it's heads up to a run out. The flop comes, jack 10 deuce, all diamonds. We have the ace of diamonds. Please give me a diamond, please. The turn is red, but it's the 7 of hearts, wrong red. And the river is the 7 of spades, no help. I show my ace high and our opponent shows pocket jacks for a full boat. We had so many outs on the flop, even against the set, we just needed a diamond or a king. We really can't win anything after that first hand. How unfortunate. Our stack is left with crumbs, with a pathetic $40 left. Alright, very next deal, we pick up pocket 2s. So we have a pair, we have $40, so you know, it's going in. We rip it all in, and the same player who just doubled up calls from the cutoff, and the big blind calls as well. Okay, I was definitely hoping that I would go to heads up, but 3 ways, the flop comes 10, 8, 4, 2 spades, and 1 heart. The big blind checks, and now the cutoff bets out for $100. The big blind now check raises to $300. Okay, we are so dead. We are so dead with our 2s. I should just muck my hand now. The cutoff calls the extra 200. Yeah, our 2s are definitely no good. GG. The turn is the ace of diamonds. The big blind now jams, covering the cutoff for his last $300. The cutoff makes the call. What is going on? And the river is the Queen of Hearts. By some miracle, if I win this, I have no idea except to buy a lottery ticket. But unfortunately, no lottery ticket for us because the big blind shows pocket 8s for a set. And the cutoff shows 9-7 of clubs for a dirty straight draw. Wow. Our money that we lost to the dude with jacks literally just got donated to the other guy in the big blind. How do I always lose to the worst players at the table? Am I really that bad or unlucky? We're going to call it a day, and we are just so tilted off the face of the earth at this point. I hate poker sometimes. We're in for $800, and unfortunately, we're out for 0. Better luck next time. Well, life isn't all about poker, so let's take a look on some of the things I've been doing away from the poker table. Mona and I went to Asia for a month, visiting the southern part of China, where Mona's family is from. We saw a lot of different wildlife in very interesting ways. I got eaten up by mosquitoes on my first night, and later on became one with the pigeons. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, it's kind of sharp. Okay, no. We ate a bunch of delicious food like Chinese barbecue lamb skewers, the biggest and juiciest crawfish I've ever had, and a bunch of mangosteen because they're so much cheaper here than compared to the US. We also ate a variety of frog dishes. It was Mona's first time eating frog, and boy was it delicious. I drank a ton of beer because the beer is basically the same price as bottled water. Maybe not as much as this table, but we had a good time. On this trip, we even had practice taking care of a 2-year-old toddler that is Mona's niece. We each won her a cute stuffed animal from some crane machines that surprisingly aren't as rigged as the ones in the US. She loved them so much, she even took a nap with them on the way back. We are definitely not ready for kids, but this baby is just so cute with her chubby cheeks that I had to share this with you guys. She's pretty strong for a 2-year-old.
She's coming for you.
We finished the trip with some good old mahjong with Mona's mom and grandpa. All I can say is Asians love to gamble. It runs in the blood. After 3 weeks in China, we spent a few days in Hong Kong where we had the best roasted pork and duck. It was the most tender, crispy, and flavorful barbecue pork and duck I've ever had. We shot some pool at the hotel, and before you know it, it's time to go. We land in Japan, and our first meal is Ichiran, where you enjoy your meal in your own little stall, where you can privately foodgasm and no one will bother you. The ramen is incomparable to the US. The broth is just so thick, rich, and flavorful. Japan has the best ramen by far, hands down. The Japanese curry is honestly super good. The pork katsu is so tender, and everything is freshly made right in front of your eyes. We also had some sushi and some more noodles and udon before heading back home. It was a good trip. We head to the airport and I build my own Lego symbol for the Pocket M's channel. Let's go! We hop on a 13-hour plane ride back home where Mona slept through almost the entire flight. Our first meal back in LA has to be In-N-Out. We were definitely dying for a burger out in Asia. It's nice to be back home.